Hello everybody, it's Don once again. Today we're going to take a look at the upcoming villages of Bradford and Chitty Chatty. This is a repeat of the flight I tried to do yesterday, however that was a complete failure due to a poor internet connection. This is the basic flight route that we're going to take today. We're going to fly all around the village and then down south below it to St. Catherine and back and do another pass. We're taking off from the Bradford Recreation Area and Postal Station, and we're looking a little bit south. We'll turn to the north now. I'll talk more about these courtyard villas in just a minute. Up at the top of the screen is Chitty Chatty. This is the Recreation Area and Postal Center for the village of Bradford. The square building with the two light-colored squares on top of it is a pumping station for the local retention ponds. Shuffleboard and bocce courts here. So 3 weeks ago, these near villas were just being started under construction, and now you can see that there's quite a few actually built. This community is going to be unique. Not only is it going to have courtyard villas, but these houses along the right side of the screen are all veranda homes. So this is going to be the first mixed community of veranda and courtyard villas. Coming up is the bridge that cuts through the woods to connect Bradford and the village of Chitty Chatty. This bridge has been done for about a year now. This bridge and most of the walking paths that we're going to see today are all closed off to public access for the time being. The walking path along the top edge of the retention pond is typical of what we're seeing in all the new areas of Southern Oaks. At the top edge you see a break between the houses. This is an access point for the walking paths. There are many of these throughout the village. As we fly southwards along Morse Boulevard to the traffic circle, you see the multimodal path that's already been installed. At the top is Grace Tabernacle Church, which will have neither golf cart access or a left turn lane off of Warm Springs Avenue to allow you to access the facility. On the right side of Morse Boulevard is the village of Hawkins, and on the left is all the village of Bradford. The freshly sodded yards indicate that these homes are either nearly ready or ready for sale. However, none are listed on the village's website yet. The village of Bradford is scheduled to have 523 homes when it's completed. Along the top edge of these retention ponds, the walking path continues. Right here, there's a break through the woods that goes over a small bridge and continues on to the St. Catherine walking path. Here's another access point for the walking paths. The walking path continues along the tree line, whether there's a retention pond or not. The long green strip along the top of the screen is another entrance point into the walking path. This large wooded area is the Chitty Chatty Preserve. The village owns most of it. Altogether, there's about 1,000 acres of wetlands and woodlands that won't be disturbed. This is the village of St. Catherine. I'll spend more time looking and talking about the village of St. Catherine in a future video. What we know so far about St. Catherine is that there's going to be another regional recreation center and a championship golf course. Beyond that, not a whole lot has been said. In this section of Bradford, the Waterview lots went up for sale a couple of weeks ago. Looking at the website, there's about 6 of them left, all in about the $180,000 range. Another unique feature of the village of Bradford is the northern entrance is actually an entrance into the villa community that we looked at the beginning of the video. Let's zip on down to the south end of Bradford once again. Actually, we're going to leave Bradford and go just a little bit farther to the Aviary Recreation Center. The large black square on the lower right is obviously the pickleball and tennis courts. The exterior shell of the building is pretty much done, but it's still going to take a long time to finish out the interior. This little building right here looks to be another ATM machine like they have at the Water Lily Recreation Area. The Village of Hawkins Neighborhood Recreation Center is here. The residential roads are going in, so it shouldn't be too much longer until they start building homes. At the end of Morris, where it meets in a traffic circle with Megason Road, there's a fleet of dump trucks there that belong to Rainey Construction. They park them neatly every night so they can effectively be fueled. The area where the dump trucks are parked is known as the village of Carson Hammock. Definitely an interesting name for a village in this part of the villages. Carson Hammock will be tucked into one of the corners of the new championship course. That wraps up for what we shot live yesterday. I want to thank Lynn Stein and Alan Urbanowitz for their help as spotters during the course of this video. After the botched attempt of a live broadcast, I took another flight with Lynn and Al watching. We were able to go out a little farther than usual because the skies were perfect. That video is coming up next. This is the second flight from yesterday morning. We're going to go all the way out to the village of St. Catherine. Now we're flying into the village of St. Catherine. The skies and the flying condition were absolutely perfect yesterday morning, and I was able to get about a mile away from the takeoff point and still see the drone. Of course, no sooner did I get out that far, I had to blink, and I lost sight of the aircraft, so I turned it around and tried to figure out where it was at and then come on back. The video right now is at about 1/3 normal speed, just to slow it down so you can get a good look around at what's going on out here. Typical, lots of dirt being moved, you can see the utilities going in, you can see the outlines of the roads. Nothing spectacular yet. The Aviary Recreation Center is right up ahead. I only fly out in these areas on Sundays just to make sure that I'm not going to fly over any construction workers or vehicles to put anybody in danger. Next up, we'll take another quick look around the village of Chitty Chatty. This is the route we'll be taking during this part of the flight. We're taking off from the Chitty Chatty Postal Station and Recreation Area. As we fly towards the corner of Morse Boulevard and State Road 44, we come up on Thai Villas. This is a new villa community being built. It's 74 villas, and its layout is like no other. It's divided into 3 sections and wraps around these wooded areas. You can see the Chitty Chatty Bridge off in the distance and the south side ramp being built. The roadway into Thai Villas and the multimodal path to the bridge pass along this area. Most of the view sites you see here are still available. They're running between $150,000 and $170,000. Most of the homes you see here are still up for sale. LA Villas hasn't started selling yet, but that should be soon. There are power lines that run down the middle of the village of Chitty Chatty. They're not the big huge towers, they're much smaller, and the village has made really good use of the right-of-way for the utility company for the multimodal path. The path winds its way to the south end of Chitty Chatty and crosses the bridge we saw earlier, going into the village of Bradford. We'll fly into Bradford for just a little bit to look around again. This footage is actually about a week older than the previous footage of this area. That's why there's a bit of a difference in the stage of construction. Once again, the skies were perfect on this day. This is about 2,000 feet out from the takeoff point, and the drone is still highly visible in the air. Once again, this is the Chitty Chatty Preserve. It's about 1,000 acres. I don't know what nature of creatures lives in the Chitty Chatty Preserve, but I'm sure they're going to show themselves in a year or two when people start moving in. You'll see the walking path again along the right side of this retention pond. The bubbles in the middle are aeration to keep the algae growth down. Well, this wraps up our tour of Chitty Chatty and the village of Bradford. I hope you've enjoyed this flight. I've enjoyed doing it for you. Once again, if you've liked what I've presented, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications so you know when each new video is available. Thank you once again. I'm Don Wiley. Have a good day.